Welcome to Keeping It Real with KC. I am your host, KC Phoenix. Oh my goodness. But, all right, first of all, this is a quick check-in, a very, very quick check-in. And if you're watching this, it's kind of shaky because usually I have the thing set up on the tripod or what have you, but that's not an option right now. I'm in my car. I don't have the little thing that you clip to your air conditioning part with the vent where you hold it. So, yeah, I'm in my car right now. And I'm in Malibu. So this that's what I'm going to call this, the Malibu check-in. So I have to give you some background to everything that's happened today. All right. So first thing, I had to get up this morning. I had to get ready. I had to go to the doctor and drop off some blood. And that's what I usually say, and it drives my doctor crazy, which is hilarious. Because she's like, you mean you want to get your blood drawn? And she is now an official listener of my podcast because I gave it to her today. And she's like, oh, I'm going to subscribe to this. So, hi, Dr. Lynn. But anyways, so I dropped off some blood. We talked. As for the ENT thing, yes, I'm still going to see the ENT probably in, it's going to be, a month? Because that doctor is backed up. So I won't be able to see him until June. Because obviously I need to find out what the deal is with my throat, with my voice, with my sinuses and everything else. So we talked about that. We talked about other things as well. But for the most part, when I had seen her earlier today, she was saying that she was happy to see me. The crazy thing is that when they took my blood pressure was higher. For whatever reason, my blood pressure is higher when I'm in the doctor's office. When I take my blood pressure at home, my blood pressure is pretty much regular, which I took it Monday through Friday last week, and I put it on an Excel spreadsheet, and I'm going to send the Excel spreadsheet over to her later on, either today or tomorrow, just so she can have it and so she can see it, and obviously so we can make sure everything is on the up and up. But it seems like my blood pressure just happens to be higher when I have it taken at the doctor's office. Don't know what that is, but I think it's called white coat syndrome or something like that. I've heard of that before. I don't see why that would be it, because I didn't think I was, tense or whatever would affect blood pressure. But I digress. So my goal after I left my doctor's office was to go to the bank, a new bank, because I received a thing in the mail saying that, hey, you'll get $300 if you open an account with us and spend $1,000 with us within 90 days. And I'm like, oh, well, that's easy to do. So I thought the bank was in the same plaza as my doctor's office, but it wasn't, because I looked at the picture. I didn't pay attention to the address, and I'm like, oh, that looks like that's over, where my doctor's office is at. So that's perfect. So I had already parked to do my doctor's appointment. Then I switched my parking place again to go to the other side where I'm thinking in my head the bank is at. And then obviously I pay another $1, which is not expensive to pay in Woodland Hills for parking. Compared to the other parts of Los Angeles, not expensive at all. So I paid another $1, and I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, there's Wells Fargo, there's Charles Schwab. I'm not seeing the bank I'm looking for. So I just got frustrated, and then I put the address in Google. And Google's like, you're in the wrong spot. I'm like, okay. How far is it driving? How far is it walking? It was a half a mile walk. So I was just like, you know what? Fine, whatever. Mind you, I haven't eaten all morning, because usually I don't eat breakfast until around about 9:30, 9:45, 10 o'clock at the latest. It was already past 10 when I was searching for this bank. But I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and walk and do that. So I made it to the bank, masked up and everything. You see this mask in front of me. This is a different mask. I have all types of masks. The one that I wore to the doctor's office was a cat throwing up a rainbow. So, but I went to the bank, and it took a while because I went to the wrong door. And I'm like standing there looking in, and then I call, and they're like, no, what, huh? And they're like, we don't see you. I'm like, I'm right here. And then the lady, one of the customers, was like pointing over at me. And then the person I was on the phone with sees me and they're like, no, you need to go to the other door, because I hadn't been to this bank before. So I finally get in, open the account, and I do that. I open the account, get that done. That's a long process, because for those who may not know, when it comes to opening a bank account, it's like you're being interviewed by the FBI. They ask you tons of questions, and it's because of Homeland Security reasons and all this stuff. But I digress. So we get everything done, everything filled out. That takes about 30 minutes to 40 minutes to get through everything from the bank. Then I have to walk back to where I was parked at in the wrong area, which is half a mile, which is fine. It's whatever. Mind you, the temperature is already going up because it's 90 something degrees in the valley today. Now, I've lived on the west side before. I lived in Marina Del Rey. I lived in Culver City. I've lived in Crenshaw, so on and so forth. I'm thinking that the difference in temperature is usually about maybe 5 degrees, give or take. So it's 94 or 95 degrees in the valley. I'm walking back to my car, getting back to my apartment, running to get food into my system, because my body's like, hey, you might want to eat something. And I eat a pack of tuna. I eat a granola bar, which is, it's really, really good. It's called Kind. If you ever get a chance, check it out. The Kind granola bar. So I eat that. And then I'm like, okay, all right, starting to feel like myself. Then I run to the bathroom because I'm like, all right. The reason I came to Malibu today is because I like being by the water. It helps me feel more at peace when I'm near the water. It's something about Malibu that just makes me feel at peace. And with me wrapping up the readings, I was like, because the reading I'm doing today is Cancer, and I might do some of the other ones too, depending on what my mood is. But I was like, it would be perfect if I can do it in Malibu. So it's already 90 something degrees. And I'm like, okay, wait a second. So if it's 90 something, it's probably going to be 90 in Malibu. I check my temperature on my car. And my car was saying, it kept on going like 94, then 90. And I'm like, okay, it's dropping. But then I get to Malibu and it says 75 degrees. And I'm like, 75 degrees? That's a 20 degree difference. There is no way in hell. So I check on my phone as well, because I'm like, I need a second opinion. Because you know me, if I don't believe something, I'm getting a second opinion, a third opinion, until I know things are right. So I'm looking at my phone and I'm double checking it, and yes, it is 75 degrees in Malibu right now. Because I was nervous. I was like, okay, how will I do this reading with scorching heat? I was ready to buy some shorts on my way here, which, by the way, and my food's getting cold too, I went by Chipotle and I'm gonna have to eat lunch in a second. It's actually sitting in the seat, as you can see here. So but I went ahead and got the lunch, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to eat lunch, and then I'm gonna have to set my stuff up to do my reading. So I'm about to go back down the Pacific Coast Highway, PCH. I say Pacific Coast Highway because not everyone lives in Los Angeles or in California, so that's why I have to be specific. But I'm gonna go back down the Pacific Coast Highway, and I plan on eating, and then I'm gonna do the readings. And then after that, that should be it. Then I'm gonna head back to the valley where it's 20 degrees higher and do that part. But I just wanted to check in with everyone and let them know what was going on, because I was planning on doing an episode just mentioning what I plan to do, or what I did after I have recorded the readings. But I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and record this now, and then I can upload it and everyone will know, and then that'll be that. And then also I'm a little bit upset because in Malibu, in this area that I'm in, there used to be an express store here, and I just knew the express store was going to be here because I haven't been to the west side in forever. Because usually if I can stay at home, I'm staying at home. That's why I don't have many miles on my car. I was telling my mother and my father, they were like, you don't drive your car anywhere, after I told them how many miles I had. And I was like, yeah, I stay at home most of the time. But I just knew Express Clothing would be here. Express Clothing is no longer in this little plaza. And also I think True Religion was here too, back when I used to come here. True Religion is no longer in this little plaza either. So unless I'm in the wrong area, which I'm pretty sure I'm in the right area, because I know Malibu pretty well. So yeah, let me go ahead, eat my lunch, and then I'm going to do my reading for the sign of Cancer, and I might do the other signs. I brought my crystals and everything else, and that's going to be that. So yeah, KIRWKC.com is the main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, Audible, Bullhorn, Overcast, and several other podcasting platforms. Listen to whatever platform works best for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Thank you to everyone who has been supporting me. I plan on doing a thank you message later on once I finish the readings and also giving more information. So I'll do that too. I'm like speaking a million words a minute. I'm gonna have to get some more food in my body because my body is like, you're doing the most today. You're doing the most. You need food. You need substance, which was one of the things I discussed with my doctor, where I was saying that one of the reasons I think I've been having some of the issues I've had is because I don't eat enough. So my goal, did this truck just park behind me? I hope I can still get out of here, because that would be so rude if he did that. That would be so rude. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get some sustenance and then sort of take it from there. And that's going to be that. Thank you again to everyone for your support. Until next time, be blessed. Welcome to KIRWKC. I am your host, KC Phoenix. It is windy. I'm outside. I'm at Malibu, or in Malibu still. Okay, so you know how you do something in your head and you think that it's going to work out a certain way? I was ready to do my reading. I did not know it was going to be this windy outside today. So if I do my reading, my tarot cards will be flying all over the place right now. I think I might do it in the car because I still want to be by the water while doing the reading. Also, I have to really go to the bathroom. I know that that's TMI, but it is what it is. So I'm thinking of running to the bathroom very quickly and then going ahead and doing the tarot card reading. I'm right off of the PCH right now. If you're watching this, you can obviously see this is the Pacific Ocean behind me, hence why it's called the Pacific Coast Highway. So I'm out here. I don't know why my voice is 2 octaves higher today, but it is what it is. But yeah, and I just finished eating, which by the way, Chipotle, if anybody at Chipotle management happens to listen to this podcast, please do not use wooden spoons. Wooden spoons are not the ticket. So just want to throw that out there. Also, I want to say thank you to my little sister V, because she blessed my Cash App. She was like, let me buy you lunch today. So she put lunch on my Cash App. Well, she put some money on my Cash App so I could buy lunch. So V paid for Chipotle. So V, thank you. Love you, sweetie. I'll be calling you hopefully this weekend, I think. So yeah. What else? I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's really windy outside. I might go down to Santa Monica because I'm still on the outskirts of Malibu right now. I might go down to Santa Monica, see if it's still as windy and do that, and see if I can do the tarot card readings. If it is still windy, more than likely I will attempt to do them in the car while by the water, because I really enjoy the ocean. It really relaxes me. I mean, obviously I'm a Cancer, so yeah, it relaxes me. So I'm gonna do that, let some stuff sink in right quick. Also, I bought a new tarot card deck too that I plan on breaking out during the Cancer reading. So I will be using that. I'll have to shuffle it and do all the other jazzy stuff with it and get that done. Yeah, so let me go ahead and get going. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. Podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, Audible, Overcast, Bullhorn, and several other podcasting platforms. Also, KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Thank you again to everyone for supporting the podcast. I sincerely appreciate it. Until next time, be blessed.